Instead, you decided to be here and learn about how we are planning to end extreme poverty with a stablecoin. So I really appreciate you being here, and I'll make sure to keep you entertained. Very quickly, who am I? I am Jasper. I'm one of the co-founders and the CMO of the GLO Foundation. The GLO Foundation is, this is us, this is our team. We're a nonprofit. We're incorporated in the US. We're applying for 501c3 status. Our team is global. We work remotely. We come from companies like Anchorage, Circle, Google, UiPath, and Founders Pledge. And like I said, we're a nonprofit, so how do we keep the lights on? Well, we are backed by Sid Sijbrandij, who is the co-founder and CEO of GitLab. He makes donations, so he loses 100% of that money. All our employees, including myself, receive salaries. There's no equity, there's no pre-mine. This is a proper nonprofit. We have no investors. And our vision for the world is zero extreme poverty. And specifically, we want to give everyone in extreme poverty a basic income. That's our goal. So here's what we're building. We're building the GLO dollar. The GLO dollar is a stablecoin, ticker symbol USDGLO. We're centralized. We're 100% fiat backed. So we're a very boring kind of stablecoin. The model is quite similar to USDT and USDC. And I actually have an announcement to make. This is hot off the press. Our CTO and the rest of our team worked very hard overnight to make this happen. But after more than 6 months of preparation, a couple hours ago, USDGLO actually went live on Uniswap. So our market cap is close to zero, but we exist now. This is not theory anymore. This is a real stablecoin, and you can actually buy it right now on Uniswap. Why would you do that? Well, there's one big difference between USDGLO and some other stablecoins. When you use GLO, fewer people will live in extreme poverty because of you. Our early community says things like, this is my favorite crypto project ever. I think this person is in the room here with us, actually. Hey, there he is. Other people say, this is quite literally one of the best ideas I've ever heard. And some people even say, crypto has no use cases except GLO. So I hope that at the end of this talk, some of you fall in one of these three buckets. And my talk consists of two parts. I will start with talking about GLO in a kind of bullish way. So I'm going to explain how we will be the #1 stablecoin, how we'll lift 7 million people out of poverty, and how by doing so we save crypto's reputation. But then I'm going to turn hyper bullish, and I'm going to explain to you how GLO will be the first cryptocurrency to finally reach mass adoption as a means of exchange in everyday life, and how that allows us to replace 9% of all the money in the world. And if we get there, we will be able to give every person in extreme poverty a basic income. Okay, so let's get started. A quick crash course. How do stablecoin companies make money? How many of you actually know how they make money? How does the business model of Circle and Tether work? Okay, very quick. Let's say we have a fictional stablecoin, USDR. It's issued by a company called Red Hat, which, if you reverse it, it's called Tether, but we're only talking about Red Hat today. They issue a stablecoin that's one-to-one backed by fiat reserve. So at any given moment, there is an amount of USDR tokens out there in the world. Let's say it's 71 billion. And then this company makes sure that they have the same amount of fiat, like real US dollars, sitting in an off-chain reserve. So those are like bank accounts. It's like one big bag of dollars. And they make sure that this is always the same. So anyone can mint new USDR, but to do that, you have to send this company a real dollar. So let's say you want to mint $1 billion of this stablecoin. You send the company $1 billion. Now their reserve is a bit bigger. And then they mint the tokens and send it to you. This can be reversed. So you can send them the stablecoins back. They burn them. And then after that's done, they send you your real dollars back. So how does this company make money? Because so far we've only seen them move money around. Well, the trick is that they actually invest a part of that reserve. So they don't hold 100% in cash, they keep about 20% in cash, and they invest the rest in T-bills. So stablecoin companies, they invest your fiat, and they earn yield doing so. So how much do they earn? Well, we can estimate that, let's say they invest 80% of their reserve. We can just look at the historical average yield of T-bills, which is about 3.4%. And then you arrive at an estimate of these companies making 2.7% of whatever their market cap is in a given year. That's a lot of money. So today, Tether has a market cap of 71 billion. If they make 2.7% of that per year, they earn almost $2 billion per year just in passive income. So per day, that's $5 million in passive income. So issuing stablecoins is a very, very profitable business model. Now, why am I telling you that? It's because GLO will work the same way with one big difference. We're going to donate all of that money to give people in extreme poverty a basic income. Do we do that in some weird crypto way? No, we do it in a very old school way. How many of you have heard of the NGO called Give Directly? Okay, there's a couple of you out there, awesome. So Give Directly is not a crypto thing, it's just a classic charity. You give them money and they distribute it as basic incomes in Kenya, Malawi, Liberia. Recipients in extreme poverty get the basic income for a couple years, no strings attached. The money goes directly to them through mobile payments like M-Pesa. And people donate to Give Directly. Vitalik donated to Give Directly a while back. And if you give them $480, then Give Directly will be able to lift one person out of extreme poverty, including transaction costs and all of these things. Now, that's interesting because that number is what we will make per year in interest for every $18,000 of our market cap. That's that 2.7%, right? So Give Directly needs $500 per year to lift one person out of poverty. We make that every time our market cap grows by 18K, which means that whenever our market cap grows by 18K, we can lift one more person out of extreme poverty. So we literally have a stablecoin where if the market cap grows, the number of people in extreme poverty goes down. This means that if you hold stablecoins, then you can lift people out of poverty for free. So let's say you are the Klima DAO. How many of you know the Klima DAO? They're holding almost $10 million in stablecoins. If they would hold that in GLO, that's 500 people out of poverty. The Gitcoin DAO could lift almost 600 people out of poverty in this way. The ENS DAO governing the .eth domains, if they would hold their stablecoins in GLO, they would lift almost 1,000 people out of extreme poverty. And the same goes for the Pleaser DAO. Now this comes at no cost to the DAO. They were holding stablecoins anyways. They're now just holding a different stablecoin. They're not paying any money, and also it goes completely automatically. All the work is being done on the back end. So that's a pretty cool thing, I think. And there isn't really a limit to this model. So, you know, the current stablecoin market is $130 billion. If GLO captures 15% of that market, we would already be able to lift 1 million people out of extreme poverty, which I think is an awesome milestone to reach, of which, you know, I think we would be very proud. But I think as we grow traction, then more and more people will realize that if you're already using stablecoins, it's pretty much a no-brainer. You can just switch over to GLO and then lift people out of extreme poverty for free. So if we would grow to the size of Tether, or put differently, if Tether would do what we are going to do, we would be able to lift 4 million people out of extreme poverty. And in the theoretical case that we would dominate the whole stablecoin market and everyone would be using only GLO, we'd be lifting 7.5 million people out of extreme poverty. That's Act 1. Yeah, this is the journey we're starting today. And it would be amazing if we get to that point, of course. Then again, 7 million people is nowhere close to 700 million people. So how the hell do we get there? Okay, well now I'll turn hyper bullish. But just for a second, I want you to forget everything I just said. In fact, I want you to close your eyes and forget that we're even at a crypto conference. Forget that you are a crypto person. Close your eyes and imagine you're at a different conference. Imagine you are at XP Denver, an annual conference on eradicating extreme poverty. You can open your eyes again. Welcome to XP Denver. We're going to talk about eradicating extreme poverty. And we'll start by giving an oversimplified status update on how we're doing in the fight against extreme poverty. Very oversimplified. The status is what one might call an inverse shit sandwich, because there's bad news, and then there's good news, and then there's bad news. So the bad news is extreme poverty exists, and it sucks. Almost 10% of the world lives in extreme poverty. So that means they're surviving on less than $2.15 per day. It's the worst kind of poverty. So I think we all agree that we want to do something about that. That's the bad news. And it doesn't help that progress is stalling, and the World Bank thinks that we won't meet our goal to end extreme poverty by 2030. So we're not doing well. But there's also good news, and that is that through experimentation and measuring, it turns out that there is a surprisingly simple intervention, which is just give people money. It sounds too simple to be true, but it seems to work really well in countries like Kenya and Malawi. It seems to really help people get to the next phase in life. Of course, if you give them a basic income of $1 a day, people are still living in poverty, but you help them meet those basic needs such that they can plan ahead a little more. And the nice thing about cash is that they can do with the money what they think is best for their family, which obviously is different from person to person and from family to family and from village to village. Will basic incomes work everywhere? No. In a country like North Korea, there is extreme poverty, but you cannot really go in and give people basic income. So there needs to be some base level of political stability and freedom and infrastructure. But putting that nuance aside, basic incomes work really surprisingly well. So what's holding us back? What's stopping us from just giving more people in extreme poverty basic incomes and solving this problem? Like, we have a big looming problem, we know the solution, so what's holding us back? Well, the problem of giving money away is that you need money to give away, and there aren't enough donations in the world to really scale up this idea of giving basic incomes. And the problem is that most of the money in our lives is money we do not give away. So the average US household controls about $100,000 every year, with which I mean that they're spending $60K, they keep $40K in a savings account, and they're donating over $2,000. So only a very tiny slice of all of the money that flows through a US household is money that they're giving away. Most of the money is money that they keep, for obvious reasons. Even worse is that of the money that they donate, only 10% actually ever goes overseas. So if we convince all US households to stop donating to whatever they're donating right now and send it to give directly, that would only give us $250 per household. If you do this, if you sum this up for all households in the US, and then do it for all other countries, we have a total addressable market of $240 billion per year. But to give everyone in extreme poverty a basic income, we would need, and this is oversimplified, very oversimplified, but we would need $480 for every 700 million people, which is $336 billion per year in donations. So even if we spend all the money that we're donating overseas only on basic incomes, we still would not have enough money to give everyone in extreme poverty basic income. So it just doesn't fit within this tiny slice. So to end extreme poverty, we need a solution that is donation independent. And that sounds impossible, right? Like, how can you financially contribute to a charity without actually giving money away? Well, that is exactly what holding the GLO dollar is. GLO is not just a stablecoin. Beyond crypto, it is a dollar with philanthropy embedded into it. So if you hold GLO, you're basically doing donation-less philanthropy. It's like before you were holding GLO, you own dollars, and then afterwards, you still own dollars, but someone in extreme poverty is getting a basic income because of you. So we want to build towards a future where it's not just crypto people who are holding GLO, it is a form of money in our everyday life that we can use for our savings account, also receive our salary in, pay companies with. And if we move towards that world, we can get to a point where 100% of the money in our lives is contributing to reducing extreme poverty. You might be wondering, why would someone do this? Well, I think you could ask the same question on why would someone decide to drive electric? Or why would someone decide to become a vegetarian? It sounds a bit weird, but the GLO dollar is kind of like the electric vehicle of money. And using GLO in your daily life is kind of the financial equivalent of becoming a vegetarian. It's just something you do that doesn't really help you, but it also doesn't really hurt you. And if you do it, you know that you contribute to a cause that you care about. This is the journey we're starting today. Like I said, our market cap is close to zero. So we're going to take this step by step. Every time our market cap grows by 18K, we can lift one more person out of extreme poverty. And you can actually help us get there. So our goal is mass adoption, and we think we will be able to get there. But every new thing has to start somewhere. So if you think this is an awesome project, then you can do two things. Wait and see until we get somewhere, or after this talk, go on Uniswap, buy a little bit of GLO. And even better would be if you go to glodollar.org. We have something which we call the Early Adopter Program, where you can sign up, join our community, and help us reach the end of extreme poverty. Thank you so much.